Sonic.exe is perhaps one of the most well-known video game creepypastas to date. It's an urban legend that has spawned many a copycat, from scary tales within the Sonic the Hedgehog fanfiction universe to other .exe gaming pastas that borrow its format and use it to craft a spooky story for another franchise and its characters. It's even inspired some Sonic fans to recreate the game itself in the story, and turn it into something that players can download and try out for themselves in real life. But of course is, not haunted. So today we're retelling the classic myth. This is Sonic.exe. The story, written by an avid Sonic the Hedgehog gamer named Tom, begins with Tom playing Sonic Unleashed one summer afternoon. From his window he notices that the mail has arrived, so he pops out real quick to collect it. Something unusual though was left in his mailbox. It was a CD case with a disc and a note inside of it. The note, written by his friend Kyle, whom he hadn't heard from in a while, read in a quickened scrawl, "Tom, I can't take it anymore. I had to get rid of this thing somehow before it was too late, and I was hoping you'd do it for me. I can't do it, he's after me, and if you don't destroy the CD, he'll come after you too. He's too fast for me. Please Tom, destroy this disc before he comes after you. It's too late for me. Don't play the game, it's what he wants. Just destroy it." Tom examined the disc. It looked like an ordinary CD-ROM, blank except for the words Sonic.exe written on it in Sharpie. The writing on the disc wasn't Kyle's, so Tom figured he must have gotten it from a pawn shop or off of eBay. Wondering just how much harm a Sonic game could actually cause, Tom ignored his friend's note and decided that he'd give the game a try, since of how much he adored Sonic titles. When he popped it into his computer, he immediately realized that it was the very first Sonic title from 1991. Score! He was stoked, he hadn't played it in years, but right before he hit start, he noticed for a split second that the title screen flickered something different. In that split second, he could have sworn he saw the Sega 1991 read Sega 666, and that Sonic's eyes had changed from their regular state to pitch black and bleeding, with two red glowing dots. The screen went black for a few seconds, and then the data select appeared. Beneath it, the music was playing in reverse. The data select offered up an unexpected surprise. You could choose to play as Tails, Knuckles, or Dr. Robotnik. This was very different than the classic Sonic title, that's for sure. That's when Tom realized that this was probably a hacked game. Knuckles and Robotnik were locked, so he selected Tails. The screen went black, and Tom could have sworn that he heard the faintest sound, creepy laughter, coming from the game. Finally, the level title screen appeared and read Hill Act 1. When that screen disappeared, it revealed Tails in the Green Hill Zone from Sonic 1, with the peaceful music still in reverse. Now when Tom started running, the ground was just flat. Everything was peaceful, no enemies. This lasted for a few minutes, but then that's when Tom saw something strange. In front of him was one of the small animals that Sonic rescues in the game. It lay there on the ground, seemingly dead, bleeding out. Tails' expression changed. It was somber. Tom kept moving. As he went, more of these small dead animals appeared, with some of them appearing more gruesome than others. One squirrel was hanging from a tree with its entrails exposed. A bunny had all four of its limbs torn off, and a duck had its eyes gouged out and throat slit. Tom felt sick. Tails' expression looked as if the feeling was mutual. The music eventually stopped, even though Tom still kept moving forward with Tails. There was a hill that appeared. He began to move Tails up it, but Tails all of a sudden froze. Confused, Tom was about to try to restart the game until he saw why Tails wasn't moving. Sonic had now appeared. Tails moved over to Sonic on his own, with Tom assuming that this was some sort of cutscene. All of a sudden, Sonic stuck out his hand and touched Tails. His eyes went red, and static noise began to burst through Tom's speakers. The screen went black for a few seconds. Then, text appeared. "Hello, do you want to play with me?" The game then transitioned to a different level title screen that had the text "Hide and Seek." This time the level looked like Angel Island from Sonic 3, except instead of the colorful traits that level normally had, it was now entirely on fire. Tails looked horrified. He looked towards the screen as if he was breaking the fourth wall and gestured to Tom as if he wanted to get out of there ASAP. Tom moved him forward, but it was as if he was moving slower than normal. Flashes of Sonic started to appear all over the screen again, with those black and red eyes. The music changed. It was now a version of the Sonic Drowning theme music. And then Sonic appeared, flying through the air behind Tails with a sinister grin on his face. Tails tripped and fell to the ground. Sonic then disappeared as Tails laid there, appearing to cry. Moments later, Sonic returned, walking up to Tails with that evil grin on his face. Just as he lunged for Tails, the screen went black. Text appeared on the screen again. "You're too slow. Want to try again?" Tom was surprised to be brought back to the data select screen. Tails was now locked, with his character appearing behind static in the television screen above, his eyes bleeding out. Tom selected the only option that he could, the now unlocked Knuckles. Text appeared on the loading screen that read, "You can't run." Tom was now playing as Knuckles, running through an industrial level that had thick red clouds above. As he ran, the level was empty with no enemies, just terrifying music. All of a sudden, static covered the screen for a split second, shocking Tom. As he pressed on, the static kept interrupting the game, and eventually, after a split second of it, blood appeared all over the track, with Knuckles running along large puddles of it until Sonic appeared. He lunged at Knuckles out of nowhere. The screen filled with static yet again, until finally a black screen appeared with the text, "Found you." The game then returned to Knuckles and Sonic, with Tom desperately trying to run in the opposite direction of Sonic, but it was as if Knuckles' feet were being sucked into the pool of blood beneath him. Sonic watched as he moved ever so slightly. Tom decided that he would do something bold, seemingly unable to run away. Instead, he ran in the direction of Sonic. Within a split second, Sonic teleported behind Knuckles, so Tom ran in the opposite direction again, trying to catch him. Sonic teleported once more. There was a loud screech and the screen went black. New text appeared. "So many souls to play with, so little time. Would you agree?" Tom was then returned to the character screen, with Knuckles now locked, his bloody face and fists distorted behind the television screen static. All that was left was Robotnik, who was now unlocked. Tom selected the villain. The level loading screen appeared, now with 3 dots instead of any text at all. When the level fully loaded, Robotnik was in a bricked room with checkered squares on the floor, with bloodstains all over the walls. He looked nervous, a pixelated bead of sweat on his face. As Tom moved Robotnik, the character just slid along, not using his normal running action. He eventually dropped down some steps where more blood splatters drenched the walls. And then there was another flight of stairs that seemed to go on forever, leading to a corridor with more blood. Sonic then appeared. The screen lit up with static. It stayed like that for a few seconds. Then all of a sudden an image of Sonic appeared, blood all over his face, his eyes dark black, pierced by tiny red sinister dots. Above him text read, "I am God." The screen went static again. The sounds of screaming emitted from Tom's speakers. Finally, it went black, and text appeared that read, "Ready for round 2? This is when Tom heard something from behind him. It was now late at night. His room was pitch black. He turned around and dread filled his body. Sitting there on his bed was something that he did not anticipate. It was a Sonic plushie, covered in blood. Alright, there we have it, friends. What other variations of this creepypasta have you heard before? Let us know in those comments below. If you dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and be sure to check out our channel for more gaming creepypastas. In the meantime though, thanks for watching, friends. I'll catch you all in the next video.